Anna had always prided herself on the trust she and her husband, Michael, shared. After nearly a decade of marriage, their relationship had endured the usual ebbs and flows of life: moving homes, the challenges of parenting their 2 children, and the occasional heated argument over trivial things like misplaced car keys or forgotten anniversaries. But through it all, Anna never doubted Michael's loyalty. When Michael first joked about his work wife, Anna didn't think much of it. She'd heard the term before, a harmless label people threw around to describe a close colleague of the opposite sex. It didn't strike her as anything worth worrying about. "She's just someone I work closely with," Michael had explained one evening over dinner. "She helps me keep my head on straight during the chaos. You know how crazy work can get." Anna laughed at the thought, teasing him. "I hope this work wife knows I'm the one who does the real heavy lifting at home." Michael grinned, reaching across the table to squeeze her hand. "No one compares to you." The phrase stuck though, and over the months, Anna noticed how often Michael mentioned Sarah in their conversations. Sarah helped Michael prepare for presentations, reminded him about deadlines, and even brought him coffee during long meetings. "She sounds like your personal assistant," Anna teased one evening, her tone playful but with a slight edge. "She's just efficient," Michael replied, shrugging. "Nothing to worry about, babe. She's married too." But as time passed, Anna couldn't ignore the subtle changes in her husband's behavior. Michael began working later than usual. At first, it was the occasional late night, a big project he needed to wrap up or an impromptu meeting that ran over schedule. But then it became a pattern. He'd leave the house early and come home long after the kids were in bed, his tie loosened and his eyes heavy with exhaustion. "Long day?" Anna would ask, trying to keep the worry out of her voice. "Yeah, the workload's insane right now," Michael would reply, planting a distracted kiss on her cheek before disappearing into the shower. Anna tried to push her unease aside. Michael had always been hardworking, and his dedication was one of the qualities she admired most about him. But something felt different. One night, as Anna was scrolling through her phone in bed, she saw a notification pop up on Michael's screen. It was a message from Sarah. "Who's the next work wife lucky enough to end up in your bed?" Winking face. Anna froze. Her heart raced as she reread the words. Her hands trembled as she unlocked his phone, a privilege they'd always shared, never having secrets between them. The conversation was long, filled with jokes, playful banter, and subtle innuendos. Sarah's tone was flirtatious, and Michael's responses, while less overt, were far from dismissive. Anna's stomach churned. Was this innocent? A joke between colleagues that had gone too far? Or was it something more? When Michael finally walked into the bedroom, toweling off his hair, Anna confronted him. "Michael, what is this?" she asked, holding up his phone. His face drained of color. "Where did you?" "It popped up," she interrupted. "You didn't even bother to hide it. Is this what you do at work? Joke about sleeping with your colleague?" "It's not what it looks like," Michael said quickly, his voice defensive. "It's just a joke, Anna. Sarah jokes like that with everyone. It doesn't mean anything." But Anna wasn't convinced. The pit in her stomach told her otherwise. The weeks that followed were a blur of tension and mistrust. Anna couldn't shake the image of Sarah's message from her mind. She found herself second-guessing everything Michael said and did. He tried to reassure her, but his efforts only seemed to make things worse. "You have nothing to worry about," he'd say, wrapping his arms around her. "Sarah and I are just friends. That's all." But Anna noticed the way he flinched whenever his phone buzzed, or the way he avoided eye contact when she asked about his day. One evening, Anna decided to confront Sarah directly. She found Sarah's profile on social media and sent her a message, her fingers trembling as she typed. "Hi Sarah, this is Anna, Michael's wife. I wanted to talk to you about something that's been bothering me. I came across a message you sent to Michael, and I need to understand what's going on between you two." Sarah replied almost immediately. "Hi Anna. I'm sorry if I've caused any misunderstanding. Michael and I have a close working relationship, but I assure you, it's strictly professional. The message you saw was meant as a joke. I didn't mean any harm. Anna stared at the screen, her emotions a whirlwind. Was Sarah telling the truth? Or was she just covering her tracks? The doubt festered, eating away at Anna's peace of mind. One night, after the kids were asleep, Anna decided to search deeper. She went through Michael's emails and found receipts for dinners at upscale restaurants. Dinners he'd never mentioned. Her chest tightened as she clicked through the receipts. The dates matched nights when Michael had claimed to be working late. When Michael came home that night, Anna was waiting for him. We need to talk, she said, her voice steady but laced with pain. Michael sighed, sensing the gravity of the moment. He sat down across from her, his expression guarded. I found the receipts, Anna said, holding up her phone. The dinners. The messages. The late nights. Tell me the truth, Michael. Are you having an affair with Sarah? Michael's face crumpled, and for a moment, Anna thought he might deny it. But then he whispered, I made a mistake. The words hit Anna like a physical blow. She felt the air leave her lungs as tears welled up in her eyes. How could you do this to us, she cried. To me. To our family. I don't have an excuse, Michael admitted, his voice trembling. It started as a harmless friendship, but it got out of hand. I never meant to hurt you, Anna. I love you. Love. Anna spat, her voice filled with bitterness. You don't betray the people you love, Michael. You don't lie to them. You don't break their trust. Michael reached for her hand, but she pulled away, her heart shattering into pieces. The days that followed were some of the darkest Anna had ever experienced. She felt like she was drowning in a sea of betrayal and heartbreak, unsure of which way to turn. Michael begged for her forgiveness, promising to cut all ties with Sarah and do whatever it took to rebuild their marriage. But Anna wasn't sure she could ever trust him again. She sought solace in her friends, who rallied around her with unwavering support. They reminded her of her strength and encouraged her to put herself first. You don't have to make a decision right away, her best friend, Lisa, said. Take your time. Figure out what you need and what will make you happy. Anna decided to attend therapy, both on her own and with Michael. The sessions were painful, forcing her to confront the depths of her pain and anger. But they also gave her clarity. She realized that forgiveness wasn't about letting Michael off the hook. It was about freeing herself from the weight of his betrayal. Months turned into a year, and slowly, Anna began to heal. She and Michael worked tirelessly to rebuild their relationship, attending counseling and having honest, difficult conversations. But the road to recovery wasn't easy. There were days when the pain felt insurmountable, when Anna questioned whether she'd made the right choice in staying. In the end, she realized that the decision wasn't about Michael. It was about her. She chose to stay not because she needed him, but because she believed their family was worth fighting for. And while their marriage would never be the same, it was stronger in its own way, a testament to their resilience and their commitment to one another. As Anna looked back on everything they had endured, she knew one thing for certain. She was no longer the woman who had once doubted her worth. She had found her strength, and no one could ever take that away from her. Anna often wondered if forgiveness ever truly meant forgetting. Even as she and Michael worked on their marriage, fragments of the past would resurface at the most inconvenient times. A sharp memory cutting through an otherwise peaceful moment, a stray thought that left her feeling hollow and unsure. Therapy helped, yes. But healing was not a linear process. Some days she felt like she was on top of the world, that she had overcome the greatest trial in her life. And then there were days when the smallest things, a work email Michael left open on his laptop, a missed call from an unknown number, would send her spiraling back into a place of fear and doubt. One night, as they sat together on the couch, Anna decided to voice what had been troubling her for weeks. Michael, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. Do you think I'll ever fully trust you again? Michael looked at her, his face full of sadness and remorse. I hope so, Anna, he said quietly. But I know it's not something I can demand or rush. I know I broke something in us. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it right. His sincerity touched her, but it didn't erase the ache in her chest. Trust wasn't something that could be rebuilt with words alone. As the days turned into weeks, Anna noticed Michael putting in more effort than ever before. He was present, attentive, and open. He made it a point to include her in every aspect of his life, whether it was sharing the details of his workday or inviting her along to company events. But deep down, Anna knew that healing wasn't just about his actions. It was about her ability to believe in them. Just as Anna began to feel like she could finally move forward, an unexpected text message shattered her fragile sense of stability. It was late one evening when Michael's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. He was upstairs, putting the kids to bed, so Anna absent-mindedly glanced at the screen. The sender's name made her blood run cold. Sarah. Her hands trembled as she unlocked the phone, her breath hitching as she read the message. Michael, I know we agreed not to talk anymore, but I can't stop thinking about you. I miss what we had. Anna's vision blurred with tears as she read the words over and over again, disbelief and anger coursing through her veins. Hadn't Michael promised her it was over? Hadn't he sworn that Sarah was no longer a part of his life? When Michael came downstairs, Anna confronted him immediately. Explain this, she said, thrusting the phone into his hands. Michael's face paled as he read the message. Anna, I didn't. I haven't spoken to her, I swear. Then why is she still messaging you? Anna demanded, her voice shaking. Why does she think it's okay to reach out to you after everything we've been through? I don't know, Michael said, his voice filled with desperation. I've ignored every attempt she's made to contact me. I haven't responded, I promise you. But Anna wasn't convinced. The seed of doubt had already been planted, and it grew with every passing moment. Block her, Anna said, her voice cold and firm. Right now. And if she ever tries to contact you again, you tell me immediately. Michael nodded, doing as she asked without hesitation. But the damage had already been done. The weeks following Sarah's message were some of the hardest Anna and Michael had faced since the affair came to light. Every interaction felt strained, every conversation tinged with tension. Anna couldn't help but wonder if Sarah's message was a sign that Michael hadn't truly let go of his feelings for her. Was he keeping something from her? Or was Sarah simply unwilling to let go? The uncertainty gnawed at her, making her question everything she thought she had rebuilt with Michael. One evening, after putting the kids to bed, Anna decided to address the elephant in the room. I need to know the truth, Michael, she said, her voice steady but laced with emotion. Did you ever love her? Michael hesitated, and the pause felt like an eternity to Anna. I thought I did, he admitted finally, his voice barely audible. But looking back, I realize it wasn't love. It was an escape. A distraction from the stresses of life, from the responsibilities of being a husband and father. But it was a mistake, Anna. A horrible, selfish mistake. His words were raw and honest, but they didn't bring Anna the comfort she'd hoped for. Instead, they left her feeling more conflicted than ever. Could she truly rebuild a life with someone who had sought solace in another woman? Or was she clinging to a relationship that had already run its course? As the months wore on, Anna found herself grappling with a question she had avoided for far too long. Was staying in her marriage truly the best choice for her? She loved Michael, that much she knew. But love wasn't always enough. Trust, respect, and stability were just as important, and she wasn't sure if those things could ever be fully restored. One afternoon, as Anna sat in the park watching her children play, she had an epiphany. She realized that she had been so focused on saving her marriage that she had neglected herself. Her own happiness, her own needs, her own sense of self-worth, they had all taken a back seat to her efforts to rebuild what Michael had broken. For the first time, Anna considered the possibility that she didn't have to stay in her marriage to be happy. She could find happiness on her own terms, whether that meant staying with Michael or walking away. After much soul-searching, Anna made a decision. She sat Michael down one evening, her heart pounding as she prepared to speak the words that had been weighing on her mind for months. Michael, she began, her voice steady but firm. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've realized something important. I can't keep living my life for us, for this marriage. I need to start living for myself. Michael looked at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and understanding. "What are you saying, Anna?" "I'm saying that I need time," she said. "Time to figure out who I am, what I want, and whether or not this marriage is what's best for me. I'm not saying it's over, but I need space to heal, to grow." Michael nodded, his expression pained but accepting. "I understand," he said quietly. "And I'll do whatever it takes to support you, Anna. Even if that means letting you go." Anna felt a surge of relief as she heard his words. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she was taking control of her own life. As she packed her bags and prepared to move into a small apartment across town, Anna felt a mix of emotions: sadness for what she was leaving behind, but also hope for what lay ahead. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew one thing for certain: she was finally putting herself first. And that was the greatest act of love she could give herself.